This is absolutely must-see TV. The real QBs of the NFL. Starring Rodgers, Purdy, Jackson, Mahomes, and Shedeur.
I feel like you got to put Joe Burrow in there. He'll be a new bombshell to enter the villa. Okay.
Yeah. I will be tuning in to all of these guys.
Oh, yeah, you're going to tune in. Must-see TV.
It's absolutely going to be must-see.
These are two shows I'm going to be watching, George. Love Island and the real QBs of the NFL reality show.
Yesterday, we came up with the hottest new reality show, The Real Quarterbacks of the NFL, featuring Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Shedeur Sanders, and Joe Burrow. So today, we're going to give you a season preview with which of these quarterbacks will be most likely to. So we'll start with which of them is most likely to have the best record, TJ?
I'm going to say Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
The team that the Ravens and DeCosta have built around him, if they don't win 12, 13 games, I'd be shocked.
I'm not going to disrespect the AFC champs. Patrick Mahomes. He only lost one game as a starter last year. So, come on. We got to stop disrespecting the Chiefs. We got to stop disrespecting Patty Mahomey. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Stop with this disrespect.
No, I'm with TJ in terms of Lamar and the Ravens. They have 13 wins 2 years ago, 12 wins last year. I don't see anything appreciably different
coming out this year
about this year's team. They're sort of in the middle of the pack when it comes to challenging schedules. So I'm going to go with Lamar.
I'm also going with Lamar having the best record. I hear you on Mahomes.
It's not disrespect.
But no, I don't think it's disrespect. We're not going solely off of last year. It is because But I think that it's going to be Lamar Jackson and the Ravens with the best record. Which quarterback is most likely to have the worst record, TJ?
Ooh, that's easy.
He said that's easy.
Whoever the Cleveland Brown quarterback, so that's
out of these quarterbacks right here, who's gonna have the worst record?
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
If it's Shedeur, that's guaranteed. It's going to be the worst record.
They in a tough division.
What if he don't play?
You on the team. You're a rookie. If you don't play, you 0-0. So you ain't win the game.
What kind of rigmarole going on? He's on the list.
If Shedeur isn't on the list, and I had to pick from that, I'm going Aaron Rodgers. If Shedeur isn't on the list, but if Shedeur is on that list, it's Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I think by default it has to be Shedeur because I don't think he's going to play the entire season, and he's playing for the Browns, who I don't think are going to have the best season. But I also feel like that's a little unfair because he's not even the starter. Like the rest of these guys are going to start for their team. So I would say Shedeur by default, but I'm going to take him out. So it's got to be Rodgers. I have said I think this will be Mike Tomlin's first losing season. I don't have high expectations for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I do know that Aaron Rodgers plays for the Steelers now, which is news. But I don't see it. I don't see how it's any different than last year. I think that the division will be better this year because I think that Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals will get back on track. So I don't think it'll be a disaster. I'm not anticipating full-on calamity, but I do think that he will have the worst record out of any of these guys.
And if Shedeur is playing, I don't expect him to get the nod coming out of the gate. If he does get it, it's because they've already thrown in the towel and said, we're going to develop the young guy.
Yeah.
And I think that only points to, I mean, right now the odds makers have him at 5.5 wins.
Right.
That ain't going to get you to the playoffs. Probably going to be the worst record among these quarterbacks.
They're going to come in the last 2 games, go 2-0. Y'all going to be like, oh. All right, let me see. Who is going to have the worst record out of these quarterbacks? I went with Shedeur also.
Okay, so thank you for the draw. Because I think we're all going to say Shedeur because we think that the Browns are not going to have a good
second worst.
All right, I'm going to go.
You can say it.
Yeah. You can say it. Go. Say it. Come on. You can say it.
I'm going to go Burrow.
Burrow?
What?
The Bengals.
No, you're not.
Bengals. Yep.
Second worst record?
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
So they missed the playoffs for three years in a row.
They're going to miss the playoffs. They're going to go 0-1 versus Cleveland first off.
All right, so what's the Steelers' record going to be? Because that's where you should have
Steelers going to win 10 games. Yeah, Steelers going to win 10 games.
Wow.
Like they did last year. I got them winning 10 games.
Rick, who you got? Taking Shedeur out of it.
Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
That's not an easy one.
That is
they
so-
won 10 games with Russell Wilson.
easy.
They're going to win 10 games with Rodgers. It's not an easy one, Rick.
It's an easy one. It's
All
an easy
right.
one. Looking at this list,
Well, they actually won some games with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won 10 games, though.
Which quarterback is most likely to win MVP, TJ?
Ooh,
This really gonna surprise Paul from what he just said.
yeah, no kidding.
ooh.
I believe we will have a team season the way we should have had last year. Joe Burrow's gonna win MVP.
Ooh.
I have Mahomes.
Ooh.
I have Mahomes. I do think that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will have a better record, but I think that Mahomes getting guys back healthy, coming off of a really bad loss in the Super Bowl, they'll have a chip on their shoulder. It might be Travis Kelce's last season. I think they're going to have. I think he's going to get back to a really good statistical season, which was not what they had last year. Remember, last year they were squeaking wins out, and it didn't quite look right. I think they're going to fix all those things, and Mahomes is going to get another MVP.
I'm with TJ again. I think it's Joe Burrow. He was getting he had the momentum at the end of last year because he finished so strong.
Yeah.
And I believe that if healthy, we're going to see the Bengals for the first time in a long time come out of the gate a little bit stronger. And I think there's a sentiment, and I've seen this in the NBA as well. There's a guy that you think just missed out. SGA last year was the runner-up and then won it this year. I think there is some sentiment that goes into that, and it's got a full arsenal. Let's put it this way: if they are a winning team, it's going to be because of the offense. The defense is going to have to come along. He's going to have to put up big numbers. And I could probably answer because if you got the Steelers winning 10 games, then MVP's got to be Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah, that's not enough wins.
Oh.
All right, who's going to be the MVP? Now, originally, I can't have Burrow the MVP because
Yeah.
they're going to
because
have the
you
worst
got-
record
you have them
out of all these
sucking.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
No, I don't got all that. But my
pretty much all
MVP
that.
next year is a guy who's been to the top of the mountain as MVP, and now it's time for him to return after taking a year off. I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Making another run at MVP.
Wow. See, I feel like the voters are going to have a hard time giving him yet
I
another.
wouldn't argue with
Why
that,
not?
though. I wouldn't argue with that. Lamar Jackson's getting better every year.
I
Every
do
year
agree-
he's been
I
in the
agree
league,
with that.
he's gotten
And
better.
he
easily got
never
it last
doesn't
year.
look MVP level.
That is true.
Yeah, he could have
Like, I-
easily got it.
Yeah, he could have. All right, which quarterback is most likely to miss the playoffs?
This is an easy one.
That
This
guy-
is the easy one.
That guy in the AFC North, that's not Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I also have Aaron Rodgers. Who you got?
Well, I'm putting 2 and 2 together since I'm having him to have the worst record out of these quarterbacks. It's Joe Burrow.
You think that the
That is-
Bengals
that
are
is
going to miss the
insane.
playoffs
I'm not sold on the
3
Bengals.
years
That is
in a row?
insane.
I'm
thinking.
not sold on the Bengals. I'm not sold on their ownership. They got unhappy defensive players over there right now who are disgruntled,
That's fair.
who haven't signed, and who knows will they sign. I'm not giving it to them because of what y'all saw at the end of last year. That was smoke and mirrors. They're going to beat the Bengals, the same Bengals they've been every year at the start of the year where they've been, what is it, in the last 5 seasons? 1-11? 1-11 in the first couple games of the season? Nothing's going to change. I can fix them, girl. No, you can't. They're the same old Bengals.
Hey, one more time, you can do what?
I can fix them, girl.
Rick, who you got?
I have Shedeur and the Cleveland Browns. I'm surprised that you have Aaron. Why would you put the Browns first in that?
Shedeur is kind of an outlier here. Like it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard
We're
to
not
put.
pick, we're just
Shedeur in
not
these-
going to pick on him.
Yeah, we
guys
just
I
can't.
know who
well,
are
'cause
going
it's
to
not.
play.
Yeah, like obviously and he's not the starter, so it's kind of tricky to put this on him. So yeah, I think that the Browns will miss the playoffs, but I
Paul
also
added him in this for a star power, right? He wanted him on the show for a star power.
The show is about the drama
He's like, oh, we gonna put
and the
him on for the star
conversation.
power.
We're getting very football technical here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that the Steelers are going to make the playoffs this year, so I would say Rodgers. I think that Purdy, Lamar, Mahomes. I think that to the next question, most likely to make the playoffs. I think that Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals will be in the playoffs this year. Which quarterback is most likely to make it?
Most likely to make it, the quarterback that has won 9 straight divisional titles, the quarterback that has never missed the playoffs, the quarterback that always advances past the first round, Patrick Mahomes. That's easy.
Yeah.
He's proven.
To make the playoffs okay, since you're going with Mahomes because there are a lot of playoff-worthy quarterbacks on here, but I'm going Rodgers because I got to win in 10 games.
Oh, my God.
They're going to win 10 games. This is Mike Tomlin. We're talking about a coach who's never had a losing season, a coach who dragged Russell Wilson to 10 wins and made the playoffs. So why would I think with Rodgers, who I believe is still better than Russell Wilson, not win 10 games?
Oof.
I'm rocking with Rodgers on this one.
Okay.
We need to do a show, The Real Sports Talk Show host.
Yeah.
Because we got some drama going on here.
It's the real. It's the real.
I'm actually going to go with the one guy from the NFC up here because I feel like the AFC is going to be ultra competitive to get in.
We want Purdy.
And I'm going to go Purdy. Because I think they have a quality team, and I think it's going to just be a little bit easier somehow, some way, even if it's wild card, for them to get in as opposed to and obviously we got a couple teams here with the Browns and the Steelers that are going to be challenged to find that. But
that's not a bad.
I think we're writing the Niners off a little too soon. I would agree with that.
In terms of what they can do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to look very different this year, which apparently offended everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't keep up. You guys, snowflakes out here, get offended by everything. But I think they're going to look a little different with the roster pieces that they've lost, particularly Deebo Samuel. So I think that we're writing them off as far as them not being competitive too soon. I just think the idea of what we've thought of the Niners as being this smash mouth, very aggressive, dominating team that you were in an ice bath for a week after playing, I don't know if that's still going to remain because they don't have the depth that they had in these past years. Like, they were dominating teams. I think they'll still be good, and I'm with you. I think they are a playoff team still. We saw that they lost so much, and we're just kind of reacting to that.
I can't help but being, our resident Bay Area resident, that the names at this point were bigger than the games in terms of the guys that they lost.
He says that a lot because they missed a lot of time. Like, the guys that they lost a lot of them had real injury.
They'll
issues.
be better because of the coach they've hired on defense. They'll be a lot better.
Well,
they're going to be a lot better
Robert
because of
back
him.
in the building
A lot better.
is a big deal. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.